Hello, welcome once again to One-on-One with Gmtv. My name is Dr. Gabi Okonji, and I'm excited to be here on this show. I hope you are, because today we're going to be having another wonderful guest speak to us. And remember, everybody that has been on this set is a marketplace apostle. And that's the concept of reaching the seven mountains of society. And right here in the house is no other person than one of the members of the Abia State Civil Service Commission. And he is by training an estate surveyor and valuer. His name is Dr. Iroy Orji. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure to have this honorable member and an estate surveyor. So I guess by the end of the show, you help us to survey a lot of our properties and maybe give us one.
Interesting.
It's good to have you.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
And it's a marketplace apostle, I know there'll be a lot you have to offer us. But before we get on, may we know you?
Okay, just like you said, my name's Dr. Iroy Orji. I'm an estate surveyor and valuer, so we go by ESV Dr. Iroy Orji. And I'm a member of the Abia State Civil Service Commission, serving under this present administration in the state. My background, well, I've been around a bit. Okay, so I studied estate management. I moved from there into banking. I work with two different commercial banks.
Yes.
Okay, namely EcoBank and PHB, Keystone Bank. And then I left banking in 12 years ago, all right, to start private practice, not actually real estate, but agriculture. That's because we believe everything is land. All right, so, and then from there, because I had a passion for us to see things work, to see states revive, to see things, people get dividends of democracy. So the moment God helped us to just have this administration come on board and send the invitation to say, come serve in my government, I said, why not? And so I've done leadership trainings. I was a member of what they call how do they put it? NYASS. I don't like to pronounce the word, okay? It's NYSS, National Youth Awards Scheme, which is a variant of the Duke of Edinburgh Award, just for leadership. And then after that, I've gone to NIPS, Courageous.
Wow.
Yeah, where I studied what we call policy, strategy, and leadership course. So that's the course afterwards, and you can do M&I program. So that in a nutshell has been the journey, yes.
I told you that we are up against something very special. One of the questions I want to take off now, which I know it didn't come in the conversation, is already, I know you're a marketplace apostle. So tell us a little bit about your background in terms of joining the kingdom of God.
Okay, so pretty much I had lived a very interesting life. I had a very good family, Christian family, but I didn't know God. And I had all kinds of experiences in life. And one day, one very interesting day,
Got a phone call.
Everything came together, came to a head, and I knew it was time to have a change, but I didn't know what that change was. And I had an old friend walk in to my class, and they talk about Jesus, and I surrendered. Now, need I say that, of course, I was on the other extreme, very extreme, and I don't know how to say that, but very extreme. And then the day it happened to me, it was the turning point of everything I had ever known. So that was 1992, and I gave my life to Jesus. And ever since then, it's been an amazing journey, amazing journey, an amazing journey. Yes.
It's good to hear that the moment you gave your life to Jesus, it was an amazing turning.
Oh, yes.
And I think there's no other turning like turning back to Jesus.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You've been serving Jesus all those years.
Yes.
Let me take it so while you were a banker, you were already serving Jesus.
Yes, yes.
Now, how do you survive seeing a lot of money without being greedy? How do you survive being a Christian and serving Jesus and then looking at money? I don't want to say serving money as well. How are you able to separate it? How are you able to conquer it? Because I've seen many people who go into, they get to this mountain of finance, put that word, and they get carried away by the profitability that the world has to offer, and they stray away into it, and they never find the focus to, turn off or turn back. What was that thing that kept you staying focused till you had to now shift? Because from what you said, is you left the banking for something else, or was it that there was a problem, an issue that made you leave, or you just decided that it was time to leave?
Yeah, no. Okay, so very interestingly, I left bank in 2009 in my mind, in my heart. I knew it was, actually the banking was not going to be a career for me, a career path. But I don't know how I got that level of guidance or wisdom to just say, okay, you know what? Banking has a lot to do with discipline. You get to the office quite early, you have to come back late, you have to work all around the clock, you will work late hours and all that. So I knew it was a training path for me. It wasn't basically for just to make money, or So, but I didn't have to leave until 4 years after I left banking. I mean, to be honest, January, 2013 was I left banking.
Wow.
So what kept me? Let me not deny the fact that I had a very good upbringing. I had a father who was a sub-treasurer at the time, but he gave that foundation. But you see, when you make that progress in life, that transition, it's not the same energy and strength that you use for a level that you're going to use for the next level. Because like they would say, new levels attract new demons.
Yes.
So that strength couldn't carry me. But thereabout, then I met Jesus. And that was all. I grew up under the SU, Scripture Union. So what we were taught were not things about prosperity and all that. It was not the outside prosperity, external prosperity. It was the internal prosperity.
Righteousness, holiness.
Holiness, being internally governed. Okay, so it became a lot more easier for me. I saw every aspect of every bus stop or station of my life as a point for service. So, I started running shops in the bank, at a very short time at the bank, because I went beyond. I was employed as an operations person, but I would go to market to know what to do. So it was fast. It was easy for me to rise. Fantastic. So, so when I became a operations manager, I'll see money. I'll see money, but thank God for the software that had been imputed in me.
Wow,
software
I like that
values,
word, software.
Yeah, had been imputed in me, and a young man said, "The word put in my heart. It does not deter me. It doesn't deter me. It doesn't make me go off the radar." So it helped me. To be honest, it wasn't difficult. It wasn't a problem at all. I left the two banks I worked, and this is 12 years after. None has called me to say, "Where is this? Wow. What happened to that?"
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a record that a couple of people will say, but you didn't come out as some other people. But you see,
you didn't come out as agitation. You didn't come out poor. You didn't come out corrupt.
But the truth of the matter is, I came out and I can sleep and I can rest well.
Wow.
And I brag about that, the fact that, come on, there's nothing. Because I had a couple of friends, a couple of my colleagues go back every now and then to go answer for this and answer for that.
Wow.
But it's amazing how...
You never got to call?
Yes, and women of them call me. Did they call you? I said, no. Who calls? They said they called me to come answer this, answer that, but nobody called me. And initially, it was more like shoulder high, you did well. But suddenly then I realized, if it had not been for the Lord, if it had not been for the values, for the word of God that I held on to strongly, I would have been swayed like many other people. It's very easy to be, but I was not. And I look back with all the joy and all the pride to say, Jesus, thank you. So that's it.
We're going to come to, you being appointed or getting an appointment in, like you said,
Yes.
in the current leadership of
Yes.
Abia State.
Yeah.
But before then, let me get your perspective on the marketplace ministry.
Okay.
What you can tell the viewer about the marketplace ministry, especially in the mountain of business.
Anyway, you see, marketplace is very simple. People hear marketplace, they just think it's one Balogun market, a Ladipo market. Okay. So the marketplace is, because we define market as any spot, any point where transactions hold, right? So that place that's called a marketplace is any other point where you transact that pretty much that is outside the four walls of the church. So I'm in the office as a government appointee. I'm in the office, in my own office, private business, marketplace. I'm on the street doing anything, it's marketplace. I'm walking around to just talk, it's marketplace. Everywhere, so to speak, outside the four walls of the church is marketplace. Now, the language is different. But what I understand is young person, some people find it difficult as a confusion. How do I do it? How do I get this done? How do I? Because they have a problem with, and my pastor taught one time and he said very simply, you are not supposed to isolate from it. It's rather insulated. Jesus said, he said, you are in the world, but hey, you're not of the world.
Well, yes.
Your language is not the same as theirs. Your character is not the same as theirs. Your dispositions not the same as the world system.
Yes.
So that's where you single yourself out. And I have a couple of times people walk up to me, even on the campaign ground, they ask me, excuse me, are you a pastor? And I'm like, I don't understand. Is there something on my face
that says you're a pastor?
So I think, number one, what you have on the inside will always exude outside.
Yes, yes.
If you have the aura of corruption, the aura of sin, the aura of anything, young person, my brother, my sister out there, it will come out. The reason why you attract the wrong sense of people, probably the software on the inside
is wrong.
Is a
corrupt.
bit wrong to be corrupt. That's why it attracts it. So, but if you have the right ones, right values,
yes,
it comes. So marketplace is a place where your heart, your language, your disposition, your mindset, everything portrays the values of the kingdom. This marketplace. To be honest with you, you don't even need to say Jesus in the marketplace. By the time you express and display values, the right values, the people will corner you and say, there's something different about you. And they ask you, how? You know, in the Bible, they say to him, say, show us your God. And then you have all the time to now tell them the God that molded you the way you are.
Well, that's very interesting because, like you said, even in the Bible, the entire story of Esther,
yes,
they don't encapsulate anything about, calling Jesus or,
exactly.
Just, it didn't cover that. Just her trend, her character, and a lot of things with revelation got her to where she is.
Yes.
So you've actually done a good job to also relieve that by telling us that it's what's on the inside. As a marketplace apostle, once again, you talked about righteousness, and righteousness is very critical to the kingdom. Somebody can say, oh, okay, maybe he's fortunate, he had a good background, maybe he's fortunate, he's all things went well for him, so he was not tempted, or he didn't, he didn't fall in any kind of sin, or he just had it rosy all through. Now, to those of us who have a totally different experience, a dramatic experience of coming to Christ, maybe, after a lot of wrongdoings and all of this, and we find it difficult to say, you know what, to remain in the marketplace, you have to be like them, where they say, if you cannot beat them, join them. What would be your advice to anyone who finds himself in a place where he or she feels, you know what, this marketplace ministry, I cannot come with righteousness, I cannot come with the right values, I cannot have the right character. Maybe I can manage to just keep the moral values okay, but what about the values of the kingdom? You know, what kind of advice would you give to stay on till it turns out right?
Okay, I'm just trying to find the best way to answer, but let me put it straight. I didn't have it very easy growing up. Like I said to you, I was on the other extreme. Other extreme. For the day I gave my life to Christ, we
That
had...
other extreme, sorry, that other extreme, we're going to put it down. We're going to put it on check. You'll come and explain that to us.
I hope you don't ask me to, but you see, but it's very simple to see. You see, what I've discovered my journey, okay, so I've gone somehow a bit around the country and a bit around the world, a bit to understand that. I've come to realize that though this world we live in sincerely yearn for right values. Everybody comes out and talks anyhow, behaves anyhow, but I can tell you sincerely that every touch point, every area that I have seen, they desire right and quality people.
Telling you, I agree. Could I agree less?
One of the ways as a young person that you want to be able to, see, don't struggle to want to enforce Jesus in a place. No. One of the ways to introduce Jesus is competence. I mean, everybody can argue with anything. Carry your color, your voice, your tall, your shape, whatever. But nobody argues with competence. If you're competent, in fact, it makes a lot of sense. Let me tell you, one of the best ways to introduce God or Jesus in an environment is to be very good at what you do.
Wow.
Do you know what the people would say? No wonder. No wonder. So it's, I found it rough, but it was, by the time I gave my life to Christ, of course, I had all kinds of, some people came to me and said to me, you cannot, where are you going to? Who do you want to live here?
Who do you want to
leave behind? You know, so it was a lot of battle. In fact, I got framed. I got,
serious?
Yes, accused of all kinds of things just to draw me back. Someone would tell me, I'm going to accuse you. And you know, we'll believe it. And all that. And at all those times, I will run back to God. And I say, I know nothing, Lord.
Wow.
Help me.
Wow.
I can remember many years ago in this Lagos, I lived in the Foshi Street, Orilo Estate, Ejibo.
Ejibo.
Yes. And that day I cried to God. I said, Lord, I cannot get back into this thing. I've walked and I've walked. Somehow till today, all those people that gathered to frame me up for something, I didn't hear anything again from them till today.
Wow.
So at every point, God will send help. At every point, God will send help. But you see, it starts with what? The decision to say, I'll follow you to the end. So what am I telling you, young person? We've all been there. The Bible says, you have not yet struggled with all those things. Don't give up. Finish strong.
Wow.
The world is looking for good people, people with right values.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. Roy. You know, it's been wonderful to, hear you. And like you said, don't struggle to introduce Jesus. Wow. But struggle to introduce your values, to introduce who you are. Okay, right now we are going on a break. When we come back, we have a lot to discuss with Dr. Iroy. Thank you. And don't go away. Right. Welcome back to One-on-One with Gmtv. And again, my name is Dr. Gabi Okonji, and we'll be having an excellent time with Dr. Iroy Orji, a member of the Abia State Civil Service Commission. And he's been filling us with his journey thus far. And there was one part where he said he has been to two extremes and one extreme. So I said, when we come back from the break, we'll start from there. But let me just allow him pass. As you follow, we'll let that come out much later. But right now, Dr. Iroy, let's go straight to where you are right now, in life. This phase is another phase where the marketplace ministry is taking you to another sphere, because you moved from the spheres of business, and now you're entering into the sphere of governance and politics. So you are now under appointment by the executive governor of Abia State. So the first question I want to ask, which I already kind of know the answer because of the value systems that you portray. But however, there is a place for grace and there's a place for time and chance. For the viewer who is trying to follow this line of thought or rebuilding character, rebuilding values, what kind of disposition in terms of contacts did you have to get the executive governor to request for your service under his government?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me just paint it a little bit like this. Growing up, I had actually always wanted to do things that would help humanity. I remember many of the times I would look at myself, I'm like, I am not wired to keep things. I'm wired to be a channel to just, and that only gave me joy. So fast forward to a couple of years afterwards, after I left banking, I kept having this call to just go and serve. Now I looked back, what do I do? Where do I start? What do I give myself to? And I realized that I was born in Umuahia, the capital of Abia State. It wasn't the capital at the time. I went to school in Umuahia, primary school, secondary school, and then my university too. Apart from my master's and all the other things I've done with myself, all was in Abia State. So knowing Abia at the time was regarded as the second neatest town behind Kaduna many years ago.
Wow.
So, and I come back now and I'm seeing the place in a mess. I'm seeing people are old. I'm seeing people sullen. People are discouraged, despondent. People are dying. It didn't make any sense. I got a couple of my friends my friend was Dr. Macaulay. He used to be here too a couple of times. He lives in Canada. And we wanted to do, health and education. So I had some people come from Canada to just want to come and do a program, even health and education. Then I got to Maryland in the US, and even the governor wanted to come and do agriculture to help the people.
Yes.
So, but they now said to me, they said they weren't going to come except and only if they had someone amongst my circle in government that could decide, because they had tried a couple of times and they did not get a positive vibe. In fact, I'm not going to say some things they said. It was very discouraging. So they said they weren't going to come. So I said to myself, okay, that's fine. It's good to serve the people. So I started a foundation to do things. It wasn't working. It wasn't getting that traction, so to speak. And I'm going to say here too that I got myself involved and I decided to run for the federal house.
Wow.
Oh, yes, I did. And I gave it a shot, 2022. The campaigns went well and all that. So I guess it was that also created some form of buzz and awareness. And a couple of people believed in that project. Did it see the light of day? Finally, no, it didn't. But it was the process that His Excellency Dr. Alex Chioma Oti OFR, so we talked a bit. A couple of things we discussed. We realized we had the same kind of understanding and vision. And I joined him. I joined the pursuit. I joined the campaigns as a member of the State Executive Campaign Council. And then we worked real hard. Let's go, we'll have it. After 3 attempts, he got the ticket, he got the mandate to serve Abia State. And I remember one of the things he said to me straight. He looked me in the eyes and said to me, Iroy, tell me, why won't I serve? Look at this, look at that, look at that, look at that. I wouldn't want to be here if not to give back to the people. And I made him a promise. I'm going to join this. and let's see how far he's going to go.
Wow.
Suddenly, 6 months after, a couple of people are calling from everywhere. What's going on here? What's this man doing? And I looked back and I realized it was all about value system.
Value system.
Value system. Value system. You see, the Bible says when the righteous is on the throne, the people rejoice. Come to Abia State.
Abia State, God's own state.
Yes. God's own state.
God's own state.
Absolutely.
So now that it's God's own state, can we know what is happening in that kingdom if everything is fine? I cannot hear a lot of things like power restore, like Aba is 24 hours light. I'm yet to come and confirm that, but I've heard a lot of good news. The road is construction and all of that. In your capacity as a member of the Abia State Civil Service Commission, yes. I believe one of the functionalities of the commission is to look at the affairs of civil servants and all of that. Yes. So what's been like?
It's been an interesting journey. So we had, coming on board the administration, we had a civil service that was laid back. Okay, their spirit was broken. People that didn't believe they mattered, that they were worth anything, really. Of course, some were old, some, and all that. It was just in a very, the Bible says, in Genesis, it says, and the earth was without form
and void.
And so what His Excellency did in His wisdom was to declare. All right. First of all, He declared and said, let there be light. So the 24 hours, yes. Now, it's not all over above now, but light has improved. But some areas that is pretty much almost 24 hours, yes. And then even overflowing to neighboring cities like Umuahia and all that. Yeah, so, there's a lot of improvement. Now, the interesting thing is that he's not in a hurry. He's a man that came prepared. Education, health, infrastructure. Education, health, environment, infrastructure. Education, health, environment, infrastructure.
To be very honest,
yes.
To be very honest, since he came on board, I think I've been to Abia 2 or 3 times, and I've actually enjoyed the road network.
Come again.
No, to be very honest, I think, after some of the hurdles, I've enjoyed the road network for...
Absolutely.
So what you're saying is true.
Yes.
And it is one of the ways that we know a righteous man
is on the throne.
Is on the throne.
Absolutely.
Projecting, looking at the remaining part of his tenure, what do you think we should expect?
We just commissioned 46-point-something kilometers road that was abandoned for a while, and a couple of other roads. Now, as I speak to you, the whole state is a construction site.
Wow.
Work is going. A few days ago, the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, GCFR, he was there in the States to commission the road, and he marveled. The other day, he hosted the 80s class of Uniport, and His Excellency, former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, he said, hey, every governors go to Abia and see how governance should be. Now, that's where I said things about competence. OT does not need to, His Excellency doesn't need to tell you about God or anything. Now, the question that people are asking is, this guy is too much. Then I start asking, how? Then I start digging into his background. Then I say his father was a pastor. Oh, he's a Christian. Oh, he loves God. Oh, he cares about this. Oh, his values. Oh, he's that. He didn't need to come and say, I have values. I got values. I got Jesus. No. So now it's easy for us to preach Jesus because there is something to show. Dominion City stands for raising leaders that transform society.
I was going to go into that to say, okay, now if we set you now, what kind of values? Where's the platform? And you just mentioned it. So do you want to say that Dominion City has also been a part of the new Dr. Orji that we are seeing?
Oh, yes, absolutely. To be honest with you, yes, and yes. I mean, when Dr. David Obweli came to Abia State to see the governor, and of course, if you needed to play back, the discussion was robust And of course, he begged him. The governor said, please come again and again, because he left the governor. Of course, he had a couple of other things to bring forth, but he left the governor with more like, oh my God, I found my tribe. The governor said, I found my tribe. So it's all the same values. The same values has brought it. I mean, I'm everything the making of God through the teachings and the mentorship and the modeling of Dr. David Obueli when it comes to values, to righteousness. And trust me, if you come to Abia now, once you enter, past the next boundary of the next state and just come in, you will breathe justice. You breathe righteousness.
You breathe righteousness.
The foundation of God's kingdom.
I think that's a good place to hold it and say you breathe justice and you breathe righteousness. So in case you're looking for where to breathe righteousness, you've not been breathing in Abia State.
Absolutely.
According to Dr. Orji, is the place to be. One final thought for your viewer and, just a word of encouragement for those who are also looking up to how God will change their own lot and change their state and maybe change their leadership to have this. What's your word to us?
It's possible. It's doable. But you can't do it on your own. For by strength shall no man prevail. Except the Lord help you. I know you want to build. But it said, they that build without the Lord build in vain. You want to watch without the Lord? If you watch, you stay up night, all in vain. But with the arm of the Lord sustaining and strengthening you, it is possible. I wouldn't have said this some years. It would have been more of academic. But now I can tell you really, this is just not up to 2 years.
Wow.
Next month, 29th of next month, we'll make this administration in Abia State exactly 2 years. And we'll have 2 more years to go. And the entire state can say joy. Things are happening left, right, and center. So it's possible. Stay on with it. Hold on to God. Stand with Him. The values, competence, and God will do it for you as well.
Wow. It is possible. It is doable.
Correct.
But all of this is with God. That's a good place to drop it. And to become your way next time, I want to first appreciate Dr. Orji for his time here, his valuable time here. And I also want to appreciate you for staying behind the set and following through. But all that you've heard is for you to put into practice. By the time we come next time, I believe you will also be saying it is possible, it is doable, because now you've engaged God in all of it. God bless you and goodbye.
Thank you.